Bro. Dude. Chat. Hi, it's me, Kevin, from the internet. Sliding right in with a new season of the Breakdown series. The one and only series on YouTube where we dissect, analyze, enhance, review and replay PvP scenarios in an effort to learn and improve.
Bro.
With the 12.9 patch that happened only a month ago and the big influx of new players, I figured the time is right for us to go back to the basics and cover the PvP fundamentals. If you want to learn how to get better at PvP in Tarkov and adjusting your mindset to win more fights and survive more raids, then this is the video series for you. If this is your first time watching the Breakdown series ever, there's a link to the playlist of the first season in the description, and I'll also link it on screen at the end of the video. I think even for veterans, this video will be a good freshing up on the absolute necessities to succeed in PvP. I'm mainly a solo player and these techniques are best used when solo, but they will kickstart your team play experience too. These are the essentials of becoming a better PvPer in Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov is unlike other games in many ways. Even if you are a terrible shot, you can still succeed in PvP. The mental aspect, composure and decision making in the moment is arguably more important than just being good at Twitch shooting. Speaking of Twitch, all of the recorded gameplay you're about to see happens live on twitch.tv/crashed. Feel free to stop by the streams and ask anything Tarkov related. We're always on the lookout for new members and have a very helpful and welcoming community over there. The same is true for the Discord. Links are in the description. Tarkov is all about staying alive and surviving. It's literally in the name of the game. The goal is always to escape from Tarkov, not die in Tarkov while trying to kill a 4-man team with the Makarov. So the first rule of Tarkov combat is to take fights that are in your favor. Put yourself in a position of advantage. This should always be the goal when going for an engagement. However, it's not always possible in practical terms. Sometimes you'll find yourself run into a player, perhaps multiple, and find yourself outgeared or outnumbered. The element of surprise is not always there to take advantage of, but you can often create such opportunities for yourself. In this first scenario, I'm running around in the Shoreline Resort. I love this place for the CQB fights and the flanking potential. I'm armed with a cutter that deals a lot of flash damage, meaning that we can kill people by shooting them in their unarmored legs or unprotected face. Against armor, however, this caliber does close to nothing and people will be able to tank full mags. I like the cutter because it's cheap and when put in the right hands with the right mindset, it can be extremely deadly. In this instance, I'm in a room and hear a guy in the hallway. Because of the kit that I'm running myself, I'm immediately going to assume that the other guy is more kitted than I am. I want to be assertive and see if we can get out of this room before we let them decide our fate. They could easily open the door and just nade us into oblivion. So we know we're about to get into an engagement. We use the Vaseline. It acts as a painkiller and will make it so that we are able to still move on broken legs. This is important. You can use any type of painkiller to achieve the same effect. Normal painkillers, morphine, golden star, ibuprofen, augmentin and Vaseline all work as painkillers and will allow you to move with normal speed on broken legs. So in short, when in doubt, pop a pain.
Never mind.
As we open the door and see the flashlight along with the voice sound, I know that we're dealing with an ultra Chad. You can recognize them by the freaking amount of voice sounds. Now before we move, we have to come up with a plan. You always want to move from cover to cover. And as we open the door, we can see another open door right across the hallway. When we make a move, this is where we'll go and formulate a plan from there. I want to dictate the flow of the fight, so as we run out, we put some quick bullets down range. Not necessarily to kill them. I mean, it would be great if we landed a face hit in the spray and ended immediately, but more so to force them back into cover and prevent them from hosing us down as we make our move. Just from all of the information we gathered so far, I am fairly certain that this guy is a lot better kitted than us. We will absolutely need the element of surprise if we're even going to stand a chance of killing them. So as we're in the other room moving around to see what he'll do, and with the grenades flying around, my assessment in the moment is that we're not gonna be able to take this fight head on. So a little thing that I like to do is to create a barrier and distraction with grenades. What I mean by a barrier is that when you throw a grenade, you'll force your opponent to move, forwards or backwards. They could easily push and run into the room, which will give us time to put bullets into them as they're running before they can raise their gun. But in this instance, when I'm bouncing nades off the wall, it's more to create a time barrier and forcing them to stay back. At this point in time, I know that if we're gonna stay in this room any longer, we're most likely gonna be turned into minced meat. We cannot take this fight head on. We are simply not geared enough. We have to find an escape, and we have to act swiftly. The more time we waste, the more we give up initiative. Giving our opponent initiative and time of their own to come up with a plan will put us in a disadvantageous spot, even more so than we already are. We have to stay on top of the fight and dictate the flow. Let them react to us instead of us having to react to them. When we throw the second grenade, we can use this little time to act. Throwing the nade will keep him at bay. He'll either have to push through it or wait for the blast to clear and then push. We can use this time and the sound of the explosion to mask our next move. You always want to stay as unpredictable to your opponent as possible. The more they have to guess, the weaker their position will become, and ours will be stronger as a result. We use the sound of the explosion to mask our jump off the balcony and go for a flank. Whenever possible, try to always create flanking opportunities for yourself. Shooting a guy who's looking in a different direction means they'll not be able to shoot you back, which drastically increases your own odds of survival. Who would have thought? So as we are behind him right now, he exposes himself for a split second. Judging quickly from the size of the backpack, I think our in the moment assessment of how kitted he was right. I'm ready from here to shoot him in the legs and wait for a moment to see if he exposes himself again, but he didn't. When he started throwing nades back in the hallway, masking our sound, I decided to choose eggs for my money, as they say in Dutch. Which means that I'll take whatever stuff I currently have on me and call it a day. Greed kills in this game. I felt in a moment here that I was not in an advantageous enough position to kill our opponent. We run away to the extract to survive and live another raid. Like I said in the intro, Tarkov is not just about killing entire lobbies. You have to pick fights in a smart way, and this all comes down to your opponent's movement, your own kit and position. Don't let pride be the death of you. It is perfectly fine to not take every single fight like a headless chicken, and sometimes surviving means you have to run away. But of course you cannot always run. Just how you can never run away from the YouTube algorithm. I never like asking for this, but if you're enjoying the episode so far and are stoked for a new season of the Breakdown series, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and ring the bell. According to YouTube, over 67% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. Subscribing really does help me out and grows my channel, so if you enjoy what I do and want me to continue doing this in the future, I kindly ask you to please consider hitting up that button. Thank you for those who've already done this. You're absolute legends. We're almost at 50k by the way. Thank you. Anyway, back to another scenario. The best way to get better at anything in life is by doing it. And PvP in Tarkov is no different. If you find yourself always running from fights just to stay alive, you'll never get the practice in, and you will also never be ready for a fight when you are in a position where running is not an option. Like this scenario for example. We're playing as a scav this time as we run into a guy. We're carrying a stock SE02E01 which kicks like a mule, and we have a Mossberg shotgun as a secondary. As we're walking up the hill, I can hear footsteps on wood. I know the wood is from the little shack on my left, so mentally I'm already prepared for a fight. When listening out for sound cues is king, then map knowledge is queen, and you will only get this by putting the time in on each map. It's something that will come naturally over time. Just like we talked about before, as soon as we see the guy and they see us, we want to put ourselves in control of the engagement, making our enemy react to us and staying as unpredictable to them as possible. My boomer hand-eye coordination lets me down once again, and he backs off into cover. As he loses line of sight, we utilize our most powerful trick, movement. Staying unpredictable to your enemy means moving around. I know from playing this map a lot that we can get on the rocks on our left. From there, we'll be able to open up another sideline and put pressure on and have the enemy react to us, therefore taking control of the engagement. You generally never want to repeat the same angle twice in a row, unless it's in an extended firefight to throw your opponent off after you've been alternating angles. This is a mistake that I make in this fight. We almost instantly pay the price for it and nearly get our head blown off. What I tend to do in these kind of fights is to stick to cover as much as I can. Get a few shots off and then back into cover again. Of course this depends on your loadout, but in this instance with the stock SE02E01 and only a mag or two with no repacking ammo, I kinda wanna use my ammo sparingly. A few quick shots and then back into cover to make it as difficult as we can for our opponent to land a hit. We switch to the Mossberg shotgun as I feel in this close range engagement it'll do more damage. And from what I could tell from the few times we've seen our opponent, they don't seem to be wearing any high tier chest armor. I can't see him inside the shed, but I know he's in there, so we shoot into the darkness to see if we land a hit. And judging from him moaning, we did. Time to go around the other side again and finish the job. As I run around, I spot his teammate in the corner of my eye. The first priority is to get back into cover. As we are running back, run in a zigzag pattern, or the snake, to make it more difficult for them to land a hit. Do everything you can in the moment to make life as difficult as possible for your opponent. Every little bit helps to ensure you stay alive. I will always give credit where credit is due, and seeing his teammate push up along with the guy in the shed is a sign of good team play. Strength in numbers is only that when utilized correctly. And him rushing me right as I'm fighting his teammate is very well played. Just unfortunate for him that we still have shells in the Moosburg and we are ready for him. GG to these guys, they played well. For the last scenario of this episode, we're running a suppressed MP153 shotgun on Interchange. We spot enemies in the distance. Knowing our kit is not the best at range and we're dealing with multiple opponents, we have to play it smart. We are at a disadvantage in kit as well as in numbers. I counted 4 guys going right to left. We don't have an option to engage over range and the area we're in is pretty open with a lot of medium to long range sidelines. I'll wait behind the pole to see and listen out what they're gonna do. If they keep going to the left, they might just run by us. One of them is definitely shooting something, so we move up towards them to close some of the distance. Again, moving from cover to cover. We are likely to get involved in this fight given our position is very close. It's definitely not the best call in terms of survival to get involved, but I'm on the quest to kill PMCs with the suppressed 12 gauge, so we might as well see if we can ambush at least one of them. The yellow stim I'm using right now is a Propitol, and this thing will slowly heal you over time as well as act as a painkiller. Propitol is great if you can afford them. I run them all the time for the painkiller effect I explained earlier in the video, as well as the heal over time. In my eyes, it's the best stim in the game and you should definitely be running them if you have the money for it. One of them is running our way and I think it's a matter of time before we get discovered. Sounds like a good excuse to see if we can land a cheeky phase hit and take him out. After exchanging a few shots, we want to move. Move away from our last known position and because of our limited range, also try and see if we can close the distance. We need to be up close with the shotgun. Moving after you take shots or make noise or present yourself to an enemy is a good rule of thumb in most engagements anyway. Leave them guessing. Gain control over the engagement. Our reposition has been successful as they're still looking towards our last known location. We take a few shots and I know it's hard to see on the video, but we do actually take out the second guy we shoot at. Our position gets compromised again and we have to fall back and disengage. Run! I'm going to die. This is why I love grenades so much. I feel a lot of people mainly see nades as a way to clear rooms or to kill enemies, but they are great for utility. I very often use them in a way to create this barrier and keep my opponents away, so I create time to get a heal in. There is no real cover in the way that we're going, so concealment will have to do with these bushes over here. Remember that cover will actually protect you from bullets and concealment will only make you invisible or harder to see. This bush is not going to tank any bullets from me though. But the least it does is make it more difficult for them to land a hit, because they will not actually be able to see me. I want to move away from here as soon as possible though, before I get swarmed by at least 3 guys and a needle still stuck in my arm. The Propitol we used before the fight with its painkiller effect as well as its heal over time is definitely helping in our escape. There are simply too many of them left for us to have a chance. So after we ran away and got enough distance, I looted a few stashes before extracting and resetting the raid. They did quite a bit of damage and I was low on meds and out of grenades. Good reason to just call it and get back in with a fresh kit. Since it was so hard to see on the video, here's the post-raid stats confirming the kill with the shotgun. We made progress on the shotgun quest and we escaped from Tarkov. Not the biggest raid ever, but a success nonetheless. Gotta appreciate the little things before you can enjoy the big things, or something like that. Anyway, this is it. If you wanna see more breakdown series, here's the link to the playlist for season 1. Even though the clips themselves are from previous patches, it doesn't matter because guerrilla tactics will never change. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like for the algorithm and subscribe if you haven't yet. Don't forget to ring the bell, otherwise YouTube will not push out the content that you actually subscribe to. It's a really weird system, but we have to roll with it. Thanks for watching and thanks for putting us at almost 50k subscribers. Honestly, I never would have dared to dream I would be saying these words one day. But damn, 50,000 of you? You guys really do make my dreams come true. And I cannot thank you enough. I am also on Twitter and Facebook. And I appreciate all of you guys who follow me over there as well. Have a good one and see you over at the streams. See ya. I'm not sure if we got this. Honestly. I have no more nades. What level are you? 6. I'm really hoping I can hear him push up if he does. I kinda just want to beeline for the exit. And these guys are just player scavs. And my backpack is full. Alright. Well, we live.